Yo, what's up guys, it's Nick from Big Ends Gaming and welcome to another MLB The Show 18 Diamond Dynasty video. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to go through each one by team and I'll tell you if you should do it if you have a ton of stubs and if you should do it if you are a budget beast or just you don't buy stubs and you don't do that. So we'll start with the Orioles. So you get 2 gold, Zach Britton and Jonathan Scope. Jonathan Scope is very good. Manny Machado I haven't used. I think he's pretty good. He's one of the cheapest diamonds, so keep that in mind. And the reward is this 86 Adam Jones. So honestly, this card doesn't look too good if it was just me. I like his fielding, but in my opinion, if you can't hit, you're not on my team, unless you're a pitcher, of course. But I mean, he can hit. It's just that his highest hitting stats in 80s. So spending like $80K for this card, I don't really recommend. Now for the Red Sox, also obviously I have Chris Sale because I pulled him in my first video. Spoiler alert, sorry. So you get 3 diamonds and 4 golds. So you get this Chris Sale, which you'd have to buy, but luckily I pulled him. This Craig Kimbrell looks really good. As a matter of fact, I might even pick him up. He's going for only $30K, so if you have a lot of stubs, I recommend you buy him. I'm probably going to buy him after this video, I'm not sure. Then you also have to have this Mookie Betts, who's worth a lot. And then you have David Price, JD Martinez, who's going to be going for a lot. I know that for sure. Dustin Pedroia, Xander Bogaerts. And then you have Benintendi, who's going to be an expensive silver. And then you also have Devers, who's going to be expensive, just because they're young guys who people think are going to go up in the year. But your reward is this Adrian Gonzalez. Now, if you're a budget guy, don't do this. It's a lot of stubs. But if you are someone who needs a really good hitter or I'm sort of stealing this from much of the show, but if you need a power corner, I recommend this because number one, you get him, you get Adrian Gonzalez, you get your ace, Chris Sale, you get a really good reliever, and you get a really good outfielder. So you're getting 4 really good diamonds. And if you have the stubs to do it, I recommend you do it. So now I'll go to the Yankees, and my Yankees, they're my favorite team, and no, I'm not a bandwagon. I've liked them all my life. But this, honestly, the reward, hold on, I'll stay here. Honestly, I don't really recommend this one for anyone. I mean, Judge is really good, but I don't recommend his card just because of that vision. Stanton, same thing. Chapman is really good, but he's going to go for a lot. And then Sanchez is like the most expensive gold in the game. And you have 6 gold you have to get in 3 diamonds. And all you get for that is an 85 Curtis Granderson, who has 1 hitting stat above like the 80s. Yeah, I get it. This is like, I think this is a new card to the game. And I honestly don't think this is worth the Yankees collection. This is probably, besides the Astros and the Dodgers, going to be the most expensive collection. And I don't think it's worth it just because you only get that guy, that Curtis Granderson. So now we're going to go to the Rays. I already did it because I basically did all of the cheap collections that only require like golds. And you get Chris Archer and Kevin Kiermaier, and then you only need 2 silvers. Your reward is this 83 Scott Kazmir, who has good stamina, good Ks per 9. Hits, walks, and home runs are a little low. Clutch is decent. Break is an 86. So if you're just starting out the game, if you're one of the cheap guys, I really recommend you do this because you get a solid 83 pitcher. But if you're a guy who has a lot of stubs and just, I don't necessarily recommend it. I mean, you're not really getting much. These aren't guys you're going to use that much. I mean, for the Rays, if you want to get it, the only reason I did it was because it helped me go to the collection program, and I'll show that at the very end. So now we're going to go to the Blue Jays, where there's Josh Donaldson who goes for a lot, and then you have Ozuna, and then the rest isn't that good. And then you get, I think you get this, yeah, you get this Fred McGriff, who honestly isn't that bad, but I don't think he's worth like 80K. So I don't recommend that collection for anyone. Now the White Sox, Abreu and Nate Jones, and you get this Adam Eaton. I really recommend this for people who don't like have many stubs and they're like budget guys, because Adam Eaton's a really good slap hitter, and then you have Jose Abreu and you have a solid reliever. For the Indians, I have literally no one from the Indians. My best player from the Indians is a 74. By the way, Jason Kipnis, buy him. He's going to go up. He should not be a 74. But this is probably going to be one of the most expensive collections. This is going to be more expensive than the Yankees. And you get an 89 Bob Feller, 116 stamina, 112 Ks per 9, 86 hits per 9, bad walks per 9, but you got 85 home runs per 9, and 98 velocity. If you are a budget guy, I'm not even just going to say this is too expensive, but if you're a guy who has a ton of stubs, I actually recommend this collection because you get the second best reliever in the game, you get a really good starter, you get two really good slap hitters in Ramirez and Lindor, and you get another good starter. And you get these gold guys. So I actually really recommend this if you have tons of stubs. And you get that Bob Feller. Tigers, Miguel Cabrera is really the only guy, and you get Alex Avila. If you're a budget guy, Guys, for the collections that don't have diamond players, I'm just going to say my thoughts for the budget people. Because the people with tons of stubs, you can just get it and just earn progress on the collection program. For the Royals, you have these two guys, Perez and Moustakas, who are two good players. And then you got this Alex Gordon, who I haven't used that much, but I think that this is one of the best collections to do if you're a budget guy. Now, I was going through the Twins, and I was like, how is there only one gold? Because number one, Miguel Sano should be a gold, just saying. But it just shows you how, insane their run was last year. I mean, they lost in a wild card, but, that's just insane what they did. But back to the game. Your reward is this Harmon Killebrew. This is another insane, but this is probably the best budget collection to do just because of this Harmon Killebrew. Those stats are insane for a gold player. This is definitely a card you want to get. Now, for the Angels, I'm just going to say Trout. He's really all you need. No one's really going to get this except for people who spend a lot of money. And the Garrett Richards is decent. So I don't really recommend this for anyone right now because Trout is, how much is he going for? 400K. I really do not recommend. Now for the Athletics, yeah, they don't even have a gold player. But you get this card, who I honestly don't think is that good. So I don't necessarily recommend it, but if you want to, go ahead. Now, the Mariners is pretty good. You have 3 gold players, and you get this Michael Pineda, who's actually on my team still. I actually really recommend this for budget guys and for people with stubs, because this is sort of in the middle. This collection is 40K, 45K. I'm not sure, but I recommend this. Now, if you have tons of stubs, I recommend this so much. The Rangers, I already completed their collection and got this Adrian Beltre, who's really good, 99 contact versus lefties. But your reward is this 86 Nelson Cruz. 104 on both contact and power versus lefties, 90 power versus righties, and then 59 contact versus righties. But he has 92 arm strength. This card is so good to start out. If you have a little less than 100K, please do this collection. Now the Astros is really expensive. I mean, there's only 2 diamonds, but Altuve. That's all I have to say. If you have tons of stubs, I don't really recommend this because you only get 85 Roy Oswalt. Oh, whoops. Now the Braves, this is sort of a budget one. I mean, there's a diamond player, and you get this Brian McCann. So honestly, I feel like that if you are sort of a mid-tier guy, I recommend this one. If you have tons of stubs, don't do it. Unless you really like Freddie Freeman. But the Marlins one, it's a really good, it's one of the best ones for a budget guy, because all you need is a JT Realmuto, and you get this Cliff Voigt, who has a 97 contact versus left. So I recommend that. Nationals, just don't even go for it. You only get an 85 GO, and it's worth so many stubs. Mets is okay. I don't really like this one either, because it's just a gold, and you're buying 2 diamonds. Phillies, I strongly recommend. If you're a budget player, and you need a solid hitter, Richie Ashburn, one of the new legends that they didn't reveal before the game came out. 108 contact versus right, 91 contact versus left, 117 vision, 88 speed. His power is crap, but this, for 3 gold players, I really recommend this. Now the Cubs, really expensive, and you get this Bruce Sutter. So if you have, and he has 100, he is the highest strikeouts per 9 rating you can get. So if I were a guy who had tons of stubs, I'd actually do this one just because of that card. The Reds, all I'm going to say is Joey Votto. These are my stats with him from 14 games. Yeah, I haven't played a ranked seasons game yet, but just, I had him all of last year, never got rid of him until I got 99 Miguel Cabrera. And that's basically right when I stopped playing. But if you're looking, if you have 100K and you want one guy who can produce so well, please get Joey Votto. He's been my favorite card all of last year, probably will be my favorite card. I'm not going to replace him for a while. I'll probably replace him if they have a better version of him, because that's how much I love his cards. And you get Raisel Iglesias. You get this Brandon Phillips, who is he's really good against lefties, pretty crappy against righties. I recommend this one mainly just because of Joey Votto. Now for the Brewers, you have 4 golds, and then you get Gene Segura. So all you're getting is golds, and you're spending like 50K, so I don't recommend this one. Pirates, you get 2 golds, Marte and Rivero, and you get this Tony Watson. And I actually recommend this because Marte is a pretty good hitter, and he has really good speed, and Rivero is one of the best lefties in the game in the bullpen. And you get another good lefty in Tony Watson. So I actually recommend this to budget guys. Now the Cardinals, 4 golds, and you get Enos Slaughter, who has 105 contact versus right, 76 contact versus left, and 119 vision. Honestly, I don't really like this card. I played with him. I don't really like him. So I don't really recommend this. I mean, if you want to get him and try him out, sure. But you're going to be spending like 40K. Now for the Diamondbacks, you get Paul Goldschmidt, and then you get this AJ Pollock. I think that this is an okay one if you have the stubs, but I'd much rather have Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips. I don't know if it's just me. Now for the Rockies, you have Nolan Arenado, who's, 150K, and then Blackman, who's 61K. And you get this Dante Bichette. If you have tons of stubs, I recommend this one because this card is really good. Now for the Dodgers, too expensive, but if you really have all the money, then don't do it because this Russell Martin is not worth it. I mean, he's still a really good card, but he's not worth all of these guys. Like, this is so much. Now, the Padres is, I think, the second last one. Yeah, Padres. This Tyson Ross is crap. I don't really like him. I mean, get the progress for the program if you want, but don't think Tyson Ross is going to do well for you. So, for the final team, we have the Giants, where you need these 2 guys and then McCutchen. And you get this 85 Pablo, who is a pretty good hitter. I actually don't mind this one if I were a guy with tons of stubs, because you get Madison Bumgarner, you get Buster Posey, who's one of the best catchers in the game right now. I think he is the best right now. And you get a really good contact hitter in Pablo Sandoval. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been your host, Nick from Big Guns Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.